Hey everybody, little late night gambling session here. Going to try to hit the next milestone. I am at 26,730. In this session I want to hit 27,000. Okay, so my minimum bet's 10, that's what I stick with. I'm doing this thing called what I call a progressive martingale. You'll see what I'm talking about. The martingale is a system where you basically double every time you lose, with the ideal is that you'll win before you run out of bankroll. And it's a very dangerous system because just by the doubling, you can get out of hand real quick. And typically, like when you're in a casino, they start to set table limits, like at a roulette table or a blackjack table. They'll set minimum $5 and maximum $300. Well, that really limits how deep you can get into the martingale system. But guess what? On TronBet, the best I can tell, there are no limits. The limits is how much you've got. So I happen to have 26,730. So let's get started. We're going to do the first roll. What I do is I bet that I'll roll over, and I do right down the middle, 50. So I'm looking for 51 and above. And I'll set this up for an hour. Who knows how long we'll play. Okay, first roll. We lose. Okay, so what I do is I double it, and then the progressive is I add 5. Right, and I do that because otherwise you'll get really deep into it and you've only won your minimum bet. I don't know why Chrome crashed. So we lost that one. Okay, so the beauty of the progressive martingale is the more you lose and the more you double will progress, which is basically half of what the minimum is. When you do eventually win, if you were to win, it's a nice little bump up. Okay, so we lost again. So we go up again. All this feels pretty easy, right? 100 Tron, no big deal. It's 3 cents. So what is that? High roller. I got about 30 cents out there now. Okay, we won on that one. So now you see we're at 26,756. So nice little bump up. So there's 2 strategies that you can do at this point. You can drop back down to the bare minimum, which is, I believe, most of the time a smart thing to do. But after a long run of losses and you finally win one, there's a school of thought that you'll probably win the next one also, right? And so since you're a relatively high bet, one thing you can do is do 1/2 and then bet again. So this isn't exactly a good model of it, but I just want to show y'all what I do. So let's do it. Okay, so where my minimum bets are 10, so that means every time I play I were to get 10. But when I do this progressive, it comes up quite a bit. And then when I do this 1/2 of my second one, and if I were to hit, it's a nice little hit, which we already saw. So I'm at 26,814 now. All right, so now I go down to the minimum because statistically I would expect I'm going to lose this one. So let's see what happens. I've been playing TronBet pretty close for the last couple weeks. I mean, like every day. Every night I try to do this little stream and I talk about Tron. Tron's kind of on... We're waiting on Tron for BitTorrent right now. It's like everybody's holding their breath. And we need BitTorrent to work and everything work as they prescribed it. And I think it is going to work, but if you look at the overall cryptocurrency market right now, we're just not getting a whole lot of new cash in there. Like we kind of had what would have been an exciting event this week. Ripple goes to Coinbase. Y'all, a year ago, I think it would have been big news. But Coinbase has not launched a new coin that has taken off since Bitcoin Cash. And every coin is substantially lower than what it previewed at. And so that's kind of scary for Ripple. Ripple's up just a little bit. In fact, tonight it was up a little bit too. So, all right, I'm not going to do the half one this time because I just did it the first time just to show y'all. But look, we're at 26,856. I'm within 150 of meeting my goal for tonight, which is to hit 27,000. Now, sometimes I'll just get on a roll these minimums. Okay. This is a pretty boring system, but I've been consistently adding to my bankroll. So I believe by definition, this is what you call grinding. Grinding out. Tron here. So I do a whole bunch of different things. I'm on P3T. I freeze a bunch of my coins. I figured out that I am earning through different methods about 1,000 Tron a day. If I keep that up, I don't know if I've got time to keep all that up, but if I keep that up, that's 30,000 Tron a month while we're waiting for BitTorrent to take off. But I mean, conceptually, even if Tron were to go to $1 a coin, my 1,000 coin a day should work. All right, so I forgot to do the 25, so I'm going to jump up to 50 now. They redesigned the interface today, and now it doesn't exactly fit on there so well, but still not bad. You can see my win-loss record here. I don't know if it still shows it, but earlier today things got out of hand. Yeah. By out of hand, I entered the wrong number. Like I wanted to add 5, and I think I added 5 or something. So instead of betting 250, I bet 2,500, and I lost. And then I realized it, and I was like, oh my gosh. Went ahead and double played again, and I won. It's risky business there. I've been making some mistakes lately. You know, in the P3T, I wanted to add a relatively small amount, like 50 or something. I don't have a whole lot on there. And I entered some god-awful wrong number. And now I have like 10,000 Tron in there, which here's what ticks me off about the ROI on PT, and I'll show you in a little bit. When you dump money in there, you don't get it, your original balance back. You just get your daily payout. And if your daily payout exceeds what you originally invested, then you're okay, but that takes 30 days, and there's no telling when that game will be expired. However, so the beauty of, as you're playing here, especially when you start jumping up into higher numbers, is your mining ante. And I think what it is about every 2,000 Tron that you play, you know, in like a casino or something, they would call it your handle, your daily handle. I think about every 2,000 coins handled, you mine one ante. And then the ante, if you freeze it, you get a daily payout of BTT and Tron. So it's kind of a nice little system. Okay, so now we're at 26. So I'm within 60 Tron of hitting my goal for tonight. And then I'll show y'all what's going on in P3T. So, you know, it's frustrating when you lose by 1, right? But because of the progressive system I use, I actually, really where I make my money is when I lose a few. Like when I get up and I'm betting 200, 500 coins, something like that. That's when I finally win, I actually make out pretty good. So it gets a little nerve-wracking, though. And under a traditional martingale system, you can find yourself betting 2,000 Tron just to win 10. And that's why I do the progressive, so that I can have a little bit, what I consider to be a bigger, better payout. That's a lot of losses you see in there. But because of my martingale system, I eventually all win. Okay, 26,960. Y'all, I'm really close to hitting my goal tonight. So that's what I do, is every day I set a goal. And then when I hit it, I don't play anymore for the day. It's like a daily goal. And basically what I want to do is I want to make 1,000 coins a day. But, I freeze some too, so it's not fair to say that I'm gambling and making 1,000 a day. And then P3T, I'll show you in a second. It's a little out of hand because I burned too much in there. The normal game is doing well, and I cashed out. So I've lost out on thousands of coins by cashing out too early. Okay, I believe we hit. No, it's not finished rolling yet. There we go. We still hit. We're getting close, y'all. 15 away from my daily goal. So this is also my daily goal. The 1,000 includes, I get roughly about 400 coins a day. So that means I'm getting 600 coins another way. And right now, about 400 of that comes from P3T, which means I'm only making, what was my last bet? 25. Okay, so 55. I'm only making a few hundred a day gambling, but you know what? A few hundred a day is not bad. So everything I do, I'm earning 1,000. There it is, y'all. Hit the goal. 27,000. Okay, so I'll call that done for now. And I'm going to show you P3T. Oh, look, y'all. I'm not recommending P3T. It is literally a Ponzi scheme. Now, so I sold all my coins, my P3T coins. I had a bunch, and I made about 25%. I mean, I had 20,000 in there or something, and I made my money back and then about 25%, and so I went ahead and sold. But had I not sold, I sold when the sell price was around 35, and now it's at 41. To buy in, it's 48. And then the contract now has $9.7 million in it, which is nuts. So the one that's interesting to me is this daily ROI. Okay, so let me just tell you. If it seems too good to be true, it is too good to be true. I guarantee you 3.3% a day for life is too good to be true. So just know this. This site is going to go down. And a lot of people are going to get burnt. And it's going to hurt Tron. And it's going to hurt crypto in general. But it's not happening right now. And there is money to be made if you're risky enough. So think about that. 3.3% of investments for 24 hours. So basically after 1 month, you get your original investment back. Right? So let's say January 1st, you put 1,000 into it. Then by February 1st, you would have made 1,000 in daily returns, which are calculated per second. Or is it per minute? Yeah, it's once a minute. So it's almost like if you were to reinvest every time, that's like 1 second compounding frequency, which is nuts in itself. If you were to keep, so the big strategy that everybody does on this ROI is as they're pulling money out. So I've got 10,000 Tron in there. Didn't mean to have that many. It's a result of a typo, but oh well, it's in there. So earlier tonight I drew everything out. I've got 16 in there already. So the school of thought is that you pull half out and put half back in so that you're constantly building your balance, right? It's not a bad idea. I may do it. I just hadn't been doing it right now. I'm actually focusing on the gambling side of it because I do not think P3T is sustainable. All right, so there is a contract, and it's all set up on smart contracts, and I give them that, and it's going to do what it's supposed to do. But so we've got over 20 million. Is that 23? Good Lord, $23 million in this contract. I've been watching it since about 10 million, and I'm starting to see some big drops happen, like $750,000, million. So you drop $1 million in there, and you're getting 30,000 a day. Well, let me tell you something. There is a limited market of people that own Tron, and then there's a limited market within that group of people that would even mess with this P3T thing, because even if it's a super smart contract and everything's regulated and all that stuff, it still means that eventually the money is going to dry up, because you're going to hit market saturation, right? Like, there's only so many Tron people. There's only so many people that are in Tron that will even look at P3T. Once you've reached that critical mass, the problem is then you don't have a whole lot of new money coming in, and that's when it's all going to collapse. So just know that P3T is going to collapse, okay? So there we are, 27,000. I mean, here it is. Here's my screen. You can see I've got 2.37 million frozen, which is giving me these daily hits. Oh, look, somebody just sent me some BitTorrent. I'm pretty sure that's my anti-mining thing going on. But here's all my rewards that come in. Excuse me. So I get roughly 400 a day. And then P3T, I have 2 P3T accounts. And I get roughly 400 a day from that. So I get 800 a day without really doing anything. And then I go gamble and kind of hit these soft targets, like me hitting 300 a day. That's a pretty good, to me that's fine. But I could see, why not play harder and faster if you're good? But there's only so much time. But what I'm able to do is draft a couple 300 out, and I'm roughly making 1,000 to a little bit over 1,000 a day of Tron, which is just to be reinvested. I'm not trying to earn on it now, but that daily 3.3%, look, it doesn't take long with a calculator to realize that, if it were to actually go on forever and still pay out every day and all that, you could replicate your salary. It's not that hard. 3.3% daily is a big number. And you could figure out how much to put in there so that 3.3% equals your daily pay that you need. If it was sustainable, and they're introducing new games, that those games will fund the ROI page. But ultimately, it's going to be as fast of a drain as it built up. And Hollywood is ruthless. And okay, I'm falling asleep. I didn't mean to say Hollywood there. All right, y'all. We're going to call this quits. Thanks for checking in.